If you've applied for a Canada study permit and you have gotten refusal, and the purpose of the refusal is your assets and financial information are insufficient to support the stated purpose of travel for yourself and any accompany family member or members, if applicable, and you're kind of thinking about what does this actually mean? Does it mean that the funds that are shown is not enough? I've seen cases where I've had conversation with a few persons, and the moment they see this refusal, one of the first things they will say, "Oh, I showed an equivalent of $60,000, 70,000 Canadian dollars, and I still got refused due to insufficient funds." Now, most times, before they write insufficient fund, there's another statement they normally write. They'll say, "I'm not satisfied that you will leave Canada at the end of your stay as required by paragraph R216 and B1B of the IRPR." Then they put the link, "I am refusing your application because you have not established that you will leave Canada based on the following factors." Now, most times people will think, oh, now there are two reasons. People will think that there are actually two reasons. Number one, they've stated that I'm not going to leave Canada. And secondly, based on asset and finances. Not necessarily. If you apply for a GCMS note, I'll talk about that later. What you will notice is that they will say, oh, this person showed all of this information, but I'm not satisfied, based on the information provided, that the income is, the finances are sufficient. Based on this, I'm deciding I'm refusing the application, and you will not leave Canada after a certain purpose of study, right? So it is not, there are not two different reasons, okay? Based on finances, they are refusing your application. But you may want to ask, what exactly does that insufficient fund mean? So in this video, I'm going to be telling you about 10, maybe 10 different things that can mean. It can mean a whole lot of things. And I'll tell you one of the first things that you should consider doing before applying for your study permit again. Now, the first thing you should apply for is called a GCMS note, okay? Now, when you apply for that GCMS note, basically what it does is that you will get to understand the exact reason why your study permit was refused. I've seen cases where people think, oh, maybe it's because of the funds that I showed, right? Then let me go add more money. So most times, it is not about adding more money, okay? So it is about justifying and a lot of other things I'm going to be talking about in this video. So we apply for that. It takes around 30 days for it to come out. By the time it's out, you will not see all of the detailed reasons. There are some cases I've seen where even when you get the GCMS note, it's not very detailed. So in cases like that, you just have to think about it again and try to apply it. So what does that mean? These, from a lot of GCMS notes that are seen online that people have posted their own GCMS notes, so I've collated about 10 different reasons why your applications will be refused as a result of insufficient funds. Number one reason that you see when you apply for a GCMS note is that they will see that there are lump sum in your accounts that are not explained. So having lump sum in your account is not the problem. The problem is not explaining the source of those lump sum. Very important. If you saw the property, you must show all the supporting documents from that land sales. If your family member sent funds to you, you must show all of the supporting documents to justify where those lump sums are coming from. Sometimes you may want to ask, what exactly is classified as a lump sum? Let's say your salary is, I'm just using Canadian dollar as an equivalent because everybody will understand that. Let's assume your monthly salary is 1,000, let's say 2,000 Canadian dollars. And now there's a deposit of $5,000 into your account. That $5,000 obviously is not from your salary. So you should explain that. If you are doing business, sometimes some lump sums can be a customer paid some money into your account, deposited money into your account. That is classified as a lump sum if it's really huge. In cases like that, you have to show the reason or the source of those funds. The second reason why your application will be refused as a result of insufficient funds is number one. Number two, if you are using a sponsor and you don't show proof of relationship with that sponsor, I'll say sufficient proof of relationship. Most times, if you just do an affidavit and say, this person is my uncle, this person is my niece, or this person is my cousin or my aunt, most times it's not going to work. What they want to see for proof of relationship, things like birth certificate. If your sibling is sponsoring you, if you show your birth certificate and their birth certificate, that is sufficient. If it is for your sister, and now your sister is married and she has changed her surname to her husband's current surname, you need to show proof, her marriage certificate first, and then proof of evidence of change of name and her proof of ID. Okay, if you're showing your uncle is sponsoring you, if it's from your father's side, you need to show your own birth certificate to show your father's name, your father's birth certificate, and your uncle's birth certificate to show that both of them have the same parents. If it's from your aunt, then you do the same. If it's from your aunt and she has changed her name, in cases like that, you need to show birth certificate, marriage certificate, and also evidence of change of name. It's a situation where if you're just using a friend, it's not going to work because you can't show a proof of relationship with your friend. If you're using a distant uncle and the proof of relationship is going to be complicated, if you can't show marriage certificate, change of name, and birth certificate, every other thing you're going to show for the most part is going to work. Even though the person writes a letter of explanation or a letter of sponsorship, most times it's not going to work. So number two, if you show insufficient proof of relationship with your spouse, with your sponsor, you're going to have issue with your proof of fund. The next reason is that you don't subscribe to my channel. If you don't want your application to be denied next time for proof of fund, and then want to click on that subscribe button, click on the notification button, and then like this video, right? When you like this video, your application is going to be approved next time. And then put in the comment section, where are you watching from? Is this your first application? If your application has been, refused, what was the reason for the refusal? Is this the first time, second time? And if you apply the fresh, if it is your first time applying for Canada study permit, put it in the comment section. The third reason why application can be denied for a source for insufficient funds is not justifying the source of funds. You have funds in your account and you are stated that you are employed, but there is no pay slip included in your application. There is no employment letter. There is no ID included in your application. Now, if you're employed, you have to be very logical. Think about it. If you are showing $60,000 in your account and your salary is only $2,000 per year, and you'll be working for another 2 years, even though you don't spend your money, you calculate that for 2 years, it's not even enough. So if you're showing that amount of money, you have to justify where the funds are coming from. You must state or show your pay slip if you are employed. If you don't have ID, not a big deal, but pay slip and employment letter, or pay slip and reference letter to show that you are currently working. Though you must show all of those things. And then sometimes some people may have their source of income to be from business. If it is from business, you must show supporting documents to justify your business. Number one, you must show that your business is registered. If you're just doing your business casually and you are making money from that, The problem with that is that it's not going to be very justifiable, and you're going to have a big problem with that. What should you do? You should get your business registered. In fact, if you're planning to apply in the next 6 months, 1 year, 8 months, make sure the first thing is to get your business registered so that they can show you register the business. And not just the business certificate. There is another document that shows that you were the one that registered the business. That is the document that you need to attach. Another thing you need to attach that is very important is you have pictures of the business, fine. But I know there are some people that do some kind of first services. Let's say you do software development and other things, so you may not necessarily have pictures of what you're doing. But if you have like a physical building, you can take a picture of that building. If you have a signboard where the business is located, you can also include that. Very important. Another thing you can include that if there are invoices, receipts, any kind of contracts that you're getting from the job, from your business, include that. That is a proof that the business is currently making money. Now, the fact that you have a business and that particular business is registered does not mean that the business is generating money, right? There are businesses that have been registered for the past 5 years and they're not really in existence and they're not really making money. So those current invoices, receipt, contracts shows that your business is currently making money. And most importantly, if you have income tax receipt for your business for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 years, as much as you can find, include that. That is one of the biggest proof that your business is currently making money and is making a lot of money. I know sometimes that may not be feasible. If you don't have that, show as many receipts, invoices, and all that as much as possible. Then sometimes you may not ask, what kind of invoices am I going to show, right? I would say maybe for the past 6 months, you can show like 2 or 3 in a month. Or if you are using your personal account for your business, it's also allowed. You can use your personal account for your business. You show that personal account. It is also allowed, okay? Now, what you can do, look at all of the big transactions that enter your account. It's huge. I don't want to use specific currency. Huge amount that entered your account. Show the invoice or the receipt that the person used to pay for that particular business or service, product or goods or services, as the case may be. Show maybe 10, 15, as the case may be. The more, the better, especially recent ones. And when you do that, make sure that it is really very, very clear so that they can see everything. Another reason why your application may also be denied is if you're showing business account, they don't really like you to use business account because now if you have a business and you have employees, all of the money in the business does not necessarily belong to you personally. These are income that will be used to settle salary and pay for business expenses. So even though you're showing $50,000, that money does not necessarily belong to you 100%. So it is best to use a personal account. I know that there are cases people will say, oh, I don't use personal account. I just use my business account for everything. In cases like that, you can take your time to move your funds that you have saved for this purpose to your personal account for a couple of months before you apply. That will give proof to the visa officer that you are genuine, right? That you have the required funds, because at the end of the day, the visa officer, they want to be sure that these funds that we are showing for this application is available and that it belongs to you. Another reason why application can also be denied is called low. This is number 4 or 5. 4. Let's say number 5. Yeah, it can be 4 or 5. Low opening balance. What else? They call it pre-existing low balance. What does it mean? You show a 4 months bank statement, and in the first, let's say you're showing at the end of the day $50,000, right? In the first month, you're having, $2,000, it dropped to $1,000, it moved to $5,000, dropped to $2,000, dropped to $100, dropped to $500, even dropped to $50, it increased to $10,000, it goes back to, 500, increase, go back, and then in the first 3 months, and then in the last month, you just pack some lump sum into the account, and you think that, oh, because I have the amount in the account, this is going to work. most times it's not going to work, except on some special occasions where you are able to explain the reasons why your account have pre-existing low balance. Okay, so in situations like that, you have to explain it. What I usually advise people, everything is all about preparation. Anything you do in life is all about preparation. If you are thinking about visa application, you need to prepare. The same thing about interviews, right? So you're thinking about visa application, you should, make sure that your card is ready to convince the visa officer for at least 4 months. You don't just jump into account when you not have admission because your provincial attestation letter is about to expire. Then you want to put everything together, put all the funds in the account from your spouse. So let's say your father, your uncle, your niece, and all, anybody supporting you legally. Okay, this is non-mago as we call it in Nigeria. There's nothing illegal about this. People can support you, especially family members. Then they dump the money in your account in just 1 month, so he would do it 2 weeks to the application. Whereas in the first 1 month, 2 months, 3 months in your account, the opening balance was low, right? They don't like that. Okay. What you should do if you're showing $10,000, if $50,000 at the end of the 5th month, is good. If your first month is like 10,000, second month, 20,000, 4th month, 30,000, 5th month, 40,000, 6th month, 50,000. If you have to create a longer bank statement to build your story, do that. They just say minimum of 4 months. If you show 6 months, it's still fine. Another reason is what we call consistent balance. A consistent balance means your account is high today, low tomorrow, high and low, high and low. You may be having a balance of $50,000 in your account, and at the beginning of the application, let's say your application, your funds was 40,000, from there move to 30,000 to 10,000 to 5,000, it moves up again to 50,000, and they go up. They call it inconsistent balance. I know sometimes you may have a business account, and because of that, your account is kind of not very consistent. In cases like that, I would say get your account stabilized during that 4 months where you're going to do your application. And when you do that, I'm not assuring you that your visa is going to be approved. It's still the prerogative of the visa officer to decide if your application is going to be approved. But these are most of the reasons why study permit get rejected. Sometimes they can say unexplained sum. Other times they can say, lack insufficient justification of the source of funds. If you check some GCMS notes online, they're going to see that these are some of the reasons why study permit can get refused due to insufficient funds. So if you're applying for the first time, try to avoid all of these. If you're applying for the second time, try to avoid all of these issues, and you'll be on your way to getting study permit approval. Now, if you're looking for someone to talk to one-on-one, to show you where some of the things are, or the IRS's website and how to get things done, I have a one-on-one mentorship program. Check out my website, reach out to me. I'd be glad to show you, to guide you, These information are available on the IRS's website. Sometimes you may not know where they are. I know where all of them are. So reach out to me. There's going to be a link in the description. Check out my website, www.gradnext.com. And I'll be glad to help you in this journey. If you haven't subscribed, you want to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. After you have told me, mention where are you watching from, okay? Which state are you in your application? Is this your first time applying? Is it your second time? What was the application refused before? Have you seen where the mistake is not from all of this? Access, make sure in the comment section. If you're applying for the first time, what did you learn? What are you going to be doing differently? Put it in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.